This road leads into one of the most dangerous regions in the world. Northern Nigeria holds a grim record for the highest number of kidnappings, an average of 10 a day. Even in broad daylight, traveling with a police escort is advised. These men prefer not to show their faces for fear of being recognized.
More than 100. That time, chicken so they get people here very easy.
Beyond this ordinary countryside lies a threat these soldiers dread more than anything. Armed gangs made up of former jihadists and an increasing number of bandits. 2 hours' drive from the nearest police barracks lies a small isolated town. Kuriga and its 10,000 inhabitants were the target of one of the biggest kidnappings in recent years. One morning, on the first day of term, an armed group stormed the school on the outskirts of town. This teacher managed to escape with about 100 children.
They came from the main road like this. They came with different bikes, with several ammunitions, around 747 on that very 7 March 2024. They came here and arrested the pupils there. We have seen several students running out. They are saying, our teacher, how can you help us? I used to tell them, follow me back. Until the final day, some of them are spoiling that, continue running, and I used to catch their hand, continue running. I wanted to save more, but they gathered the students around these mango trees as they asked them to follow the bush. It's easy to take children. They know that when they take children, it will be touchable enough to the government within the society. All those things, they are doing it just to get this money from either the parent or the government.
The attackers forced 137 children into the nearby forest. These young pupils were held hostage for 2 weeks before being freed in a military operation. Today, despite the fear, classes have resumed in small groups just outside their homes, under the protection of their parents.
The topic of discourse for the day is numberless value and unit. Ɗaya daga cikin ku wanda zai ga man lamba misalin lamba ɗaya.
Sai sosai gaskiya. Saboda me akwai wanda za ga a cikin su wasu na da imani wasu kuma ba su da shi. Wasu da sun inda za su ajiye mu suka ajiye mu kwana 16 a hannunsu. Daga nan kuma sai Allah ya ba mu mafita. Kawai dai muna zaune sai muka ga kawai Allah ya fitar da mu a hannunsu. Soji sun karɓe mu sun fitar da mu.
Sai suka yi idan har muka koma makaranta sai sun dawo sun ɗauke mu. Dare da muke hannunsu mun ce ba muka koma gida ba za mu yi.
For several years, mass kidnappings have been on the rise in Nigeria. The authorities estimate that 18 million children no longer go to school because of this upsurge in violence. This type of attack began in 2014. Alan Manasseh is the spokesman for Bring Back Our Girls. That year, 276 high school girls were abducted by Boko Haram terrorists, an Islamist movement that wanted to ban all forms of education. To this day, 82 young women are still missing.
Like this with the pink happened to be one of my cousins. Is Abdu. This is also one of my cousins. Since then, there was no other video from the terrorists. They didn't release any other video of the Chibok girls.
According to Alan Manasseh, A new generation is now drawing inspiration from Boko Haram's ways. For the past 10 years, this former trader has been recording every kidnapping and every video where petty warlords proudly pose on social media. These new armed gangs now boast more than 30,000 men.
As at 2014, it was Boko Haram, an ideological war on, specific parts of the country. But as it is now, it's widespread. Its level of criminality is not about terrorism again, but is just pure criminality for sake of financial benefits and other transactions. So people are using it for financial gain now, abduct people, collect money from their families, and that is widespread all over the country. So it's a hydra-headed monster that have been embedded into every community and terrorizing the country.
According to the victims' families, the Nigerian state is responsible for allowing jihadists and bandits to ravage the country. The majority of these kidnappings occur on transport routes. Hundreds of thousands of kilometers of roads that are impossible for Nigerian forces to secure. Motorways and even railways can become targets. This happened 2 years ago on the line between the capital, Abuja, and Kaduna in the north of the country. An armed group ambushed the train and detonated a bomb, which derailed it for several hundred meters. About 10 lives were lost in the attack, which was designed to kidnap as many people as possible. Mariam Idris, a nurse and mother of 5, was on board. She was held hostage for over 6 months, along with Abdallah Mohammed, another survivor, and around 100 other passengers.
Let me show you. I'm the one on pink. Here's me with brown kaftan.
In this video sent to the families to demand a ransom of 60,000 euros per person, we see their appalling detention conditions in the middle of the forest.
That little food we're being given with nothing is almost the same. You're just being given a bones, you are helpless, and you're staying with people you don't know, people that can change at any moment, and away from your family. And later on, they started developing this attitude of started flogging you to the extent that they were threatening that they are going to slaughter you guys. It's a very bad experience. Very, very bad experience. More than scared, because we were thinking it's a end of time for us. Maybe, probably we will not see our families again.
All hostages were eventually released. Mariam Idris and Abdallah Mohammed believe the armed group received money in exchange for their release. A payment that the authorities have consistently denied for fear of encouraging further attacks. Armed men are now stationed along the railway line, and night trains have been cancelled. Kaduna State, where the train terminates, is the region that saw the most kidnappings in the past year, nearly 700, according to official numbers. In this war against armed gangs, Nigerian security forces seem completely overwhelmed. After several weeks of negotiations, the spokesman for the central police station agreed to meet us. Surrounded by his security detail, the officer is keen to show us their latest haul.
Very good weapons, you see? Yes. We recovered this one in 2023. You see, in the recent time, we have recovered almost 16 AK-47 and AK-49 in just 4 months.
A meager collection, given the country's intense firearms trafficking. Some 350 million illegal weapons are believed to be in circulation. Further along, the police take us into the police station's prison. In the courtyard are around 50 prisoners, and among them, many kidnappers. Some of them are very young. The police claim to arrest about 10 a month. In this region, one of the poorest in the country, the use of violence to earn money seems to have become commonplace.
Baba Ali, ina suspect din da kuka selecting. Wayannan. Suna da yake ganin za a iya. Okay. Na ga bari dan fara da Monday duniya da wancan. Dama mun hido makaman su. Me sunanka? As I earlier told you, we have arrested him while he was trying to supply it to the bandits.
Among the men the police introduced to us were 3 high school students who had just turned 18.
I don't have money. Okay. This is the first time that I did. It's not my habit. I just do it intentionally. I take the boy on the 26th of this April, and now called his father sum of money, 30,000, and he now asked me to send account number. I now sent him to him. He now sent me the 30,000. The number that I called him was my number. Then police now track it. They now take me.
They face up to 10 years in prison. Penalties are much harsher in cases of kidnapping gone wrong, as in the case of this kidnapper, who was recognized by his victim.
He was arrested in the connection of a kidnapping of one young, very teenage girl. Look at her. He kidnapped her. After the lady identified him, he ended up killing her. He used the razor blade and cut her this thing. Very hard in this grip. Yes. Kidnapping. You know, kidnapping is a business. It's a business. No country have a sufficient security. Everybody you see he must have some loopholes in somewhere. Yes, we still need more. We still need more. We need more security. Yes.
Nigeria has 500,000 military and police personnel for a population of 220 million. On average, this is half as many as France and Germany. These security forces are mainly concentrated in city centres, leaving the outskirts and countryside to the mercy of armed gangs. Left to their own devices, more and more Nigerians are forming self-defense militias.
If you want to go, if you want to stay.
This group of around 15 men and women protect an isolated neighborhood south of Kaduna. They are led by Daniel Abraham. This 60-year-old electrician has been trying to maintain order with the resources at hand for the past 5 years.
This one is cartridge, the same thing, a local make. Come. Another one here is cartridge. Almost everything is local. You use gunpowder on it, local made, bring it.
Wannan tokan yana da karfi sosai. Wannan tokan musa shi baya bata lokaci yana aiki yana tashiwa ne kawai.
In theory, these militia members can only use their weapons for self-defense and cannot intervene without the authorities' permission. In reality, however, the police have very little presence and need these reinforcements.
I feel like a general because I'm doing the work with my clean mind. I do the work the way God wants it. I'm not afraid of anything. I know it's only death. And man must die, and something must kill you.
In the neighborhood, the victims' families prefer to turn to Daniel Abraham in the event of a kidnapping.
Muna da problem, muna da mun shiga ko wani wuri da mun shiga an ba mu 10,000.
Yadda kamar wani lokaci?
1:30.
1:30.
na safe.
Okay, since then, any information?
They have been calling us,
Say,
demanding for ransom.
how much?
15 million for a start. Suka ce to sun ba mu nan da ma ran Juma'a mai zuwa ba mu kawo kudin ba. Ba manta da mata na manta da yarinya ba.
For this civil servant and his son to be able to hand over such a sum is unimaginable and even illegal. To curb the kidnapping trend, a law has been in place for the last 2 years, prohibiting the payment of ransoms at the risk of imprisonment.
We have no choice. We love them. We have to pay. We even put our house. Now our house and 3 plots that is close to our house is for sale now, but none was sold. I've been going up and down to say either I will get money. There's no any place for me to get money. In fact, I don't have any place to go now. Because as I come here, I don't have any place to go now. Rather than to live.
We can't promise that to raise. But we can assist, maybe we tell you to follow. Okay, Shikena.
To try and help them, Daniel and his team go to the town market to gather information. He knows the bandits operating in the area need to restock here regularly.
Alhaji ka fito? Zaka shiga duniya gaba da ya gajiya. In ka kira ba da ka cuce kanka. Amma ka ga maka yada ba ka kira saboda mu ma mu maka ce. Yawwa. The informant came to the market and buy some good food item, take it to the bush. And if we can see this kind of people buying a lot of things that reach 1 bag, 2 bag of corn rice, we arrest you, we ask you, where are you taking it to? But the bandit didn't come to the market, the informer buy and take it to them.
Sometimes, Daniel traces the bandits back to their lair in the forest. But today, the group didn't gather any valuable information for the family. The militia continue their patrols on the town's borders. Armed gangs regularly attack here to force the inhabitants to flee and reclaim their land.
Kuna tashi nan kaman karfe na? A nan? Muna tashi kaman karfe 6 sai mu tafi. Ga dai a nan, ga shi a bayan can, ga shi a nan guda biyu. Saboda ba mu iya bacci da dare. Mu yi bacci sai su zo, sai hankali mu ya tashi kuma mutum yana da BP sai ka ji.
A dozen people have already been killed in this area, and a dozen more have been kidnapped by bandits. Construction has stopped. Life is on hold.
So this is where they always come if they are coming to this place. These people are living in Nigeria, near inside our community, not far away, like the bush that I'm showing you, not less than, let's say, like 30 kilometers to 40 kilometers, you reach where they live. We know where they are living, but the government will not allow us to reach that place. The problem of Nigeria is corruption, from the top to the ground. Then it didn't stop. That is why this insecurity will not stop.
Nigeria is regularly ranked as one of the most corrupt countries in the world. Throughout the neighborhood, families flee their own homes for the night. But for many, what was supposed to be a temporary situation drags on. In this suburb of Kaduna, 2,000 people have been taking refuge in this school, under construction for 4 years now. All are Christians, a minority particularly targeted by attacks in the Muslim majority north of the country.
Amma mugaye ba haka suke ba, su kamar yayi suke wanda iska take kwashewa, Allah kuwa zai hukunta mugaye. Amen.
At 62, this man of God has seen simple neighborhood conflicts between Christian farmers and Muslim Fulani herders escalate into a cycle of indiscriminate violence.
A wuraren ƙauyenmu da mutanen da suka atakin ɗinmu gaskiya yawancinsu mu da waɗanda muka gansu Fulani ne. Suna yaren Fulatanci muna ji. Yawancinsu su ne waɗanda suka atakin ɗin ƙauyukanmu. Haka muka ga sun yi ta yi. Abu na biyu kuma shine sun na ƙarshe wanda ya sa yawancinmu muka gudu a ƙauyukanmu shine za su zo su kwashi 'yan ƙauyen mutum wajen 50 da 100 su kai su daji. Abin da ya sa da sun kai daji za su kira miliyoyin kuɗin da mu ba mu taɓa ganin su ba. Abin da ya sa wasu har da jimre wanda aka yi na 'yan shekaru tare da wayannan wahalun wasu suka bari inda muke kenan.
In Nigeria, more than 2 million people have been displaced. Most of them are women and children, as the men have either died or stayed in their villages to defend their land. Priscilla Nuhu fled her farm with her 5 children. She manages the food and water for around 50 people.
Tuwo farin tuwo ne na masara. Miyan kubewa. Sai dai bai yi mutum ya ci ba yanda ya kamata ba, ma za mu yi manage mu ci. Domin ba mu da shi. Za mu yi manage mu ci amma ba wai mu koshi ba. Za mu karasa da ruwa. Sun ci Monday, an samu tuwanci Monday. To ana bashi.
Priscilla, like all these displaced people, thought she was safe here. But since the beginning of the year, the camp has already been attacked twice by armed men. Her 10-year-old daughter is now too afraid to stray far.
Na jin tsoronsu, ko za su so su kashe mu.
Gan kaman ko karshen zamani ne ya zo? Oho, ba mu sani ba. Ko me ya sa mu da ba don maganan Allah ba, ni nikan yi addu'a. Allah ya halaka da su. Amma tun da maganan Allah ya ce, kar mutum ya yi addu'a kan mugun mutum wai ya mutu cikin zunubi. To ina yi addu'a wai su canza. In ba su canza ba Allah ya san da zai yi da su.
In a country where more than half the population lives below the poverty line, inequality is fueling ethnic and religious tensions. Bandit groups are finding it increasingly easy to recruit new members. Today, all communities are arming themselves. Every week, new massacres and kidnappings take place. In the space of 5 years, over 15,000 people have been kidnapped in Nigeria.